So now let's create auth module, auth controller, auth users. So here inside auth, we will start creating auth controller. I will just try to, we don't need entity, we need service. Yes, copy and paste them onto the auth folder and rename them, because here we will be writing a login, logout, auth TTO, auth module, auth service. That will need user service. And here we can just create, because in authentication we will be using the guard and lots of things. Guards, strategy, strategies, and okay, I can create DTO folder as a separate guard, strategy, DTO. Okay, so we will be having activation guard, auth guard, strategy, local strategy, passport strategy, access token strategy. All these strategies we can add here. Now auth controller, what do you think inside auth? We will just create a simple route which will take a username and password. We will just write a simple controller where you will pass a simple username and password, and we will validate, and we will return the cookies. Okay, and then all these logic of validating things will go inside auth service. Okay, and we'll be using the passport. Now let's try to take a look onto these passport strategies, auth guards. What are they really is, right? So for that we can go to the Nest.js documentation. So how these things are connected. Nest.js passport is a popular authentication library. It helps you to validate username, password. You just need to create a passport local. All these dependencies you need to add. Then after that you just need to, let's say I created a user service. I did auth service, which is just doing a validation of user. Here comes my passport local. So this local strategy, what it is doing, it invoked automatically when you register a passport with your Nest.js module, and it validates the user because you are already passing the username and password in the request body. Here it uses the auth service. Auth service we will write that will use user service, username and password, and if everything is good, it will be able to push the user object, right? We can pass the option super validate. What it is doing is auth service will do the validation. If the user is returned, passport can complete its task by creating user property in the request object. That's the important part of what passport does. So here we are writing a local strategy. What it is doing, it is validating username, password. We have not written this code in the controller. Validate user, username, password, and this user object automatically gets populated in the request object. If user name password doesn't valid, it will throw unauthorized exception, and you will get the status code in the HTTP, right? So it's like a very simple integration. So let's try to see how we can integrate passport. Here then you just added a passport module, local strategy, auth service, user module. This comes your auth module, right? So I will just try to add this here. Auth module. We'll add these required things like user module dependencies we need. Auth service we'll be creating. Is it not user module? Okay, add import passport module I will add. This is the local strategy I will be creating inside a strategies folder. Auth service we will be creating here. I will just change this to auth service. Lots of code we need to write, but it will be quick. Nothing, it's plain and simple code we are writing. Now what auth service will be doing? I will write a one simple method there, and then we will discuss about it for how the passport is playing a role here. Auth service, I will replace the content. So here we are writing auth service. You can see it is importing user service, and then we are injecting config service, user service. I will explain you what is this line 21. When two services are dependent on each other, then you have to use forward ref so that you do not have the cyclic dependency. Okay, because user service also need auth service, auth module need user module, user module need auth module. So we are just checking email password. This is being called by the local strategy. Okay. Local strategy will call the auth service, user service dot find by email, not found exception. We are comparing the password. If password match is found, we will create token and we'll update a refresh token. We are creating access token, populating the refresh token in the database, and then returning the data. Otherwise, user does not found. A simple validate method which we need. Now I will add a strategy which is access token strategy. Now try to read this, what it is doing. Access token strategy will come into the picture automatically because we are registering a passport module. Here, this thing will be used when we are sending access token to the APIs back. Here, this access token strategy will play. And what it will do is, it will check. It will try to validate user, validate JWT payload, whatever. So first of all, this will be used when you are passing the authorization header. In the cookies. So here, if we are going to get access token inside cookies, it will decode and it will just return us the data. Okay, because this whole thing will try to populate this payload inside a validate method. This access token JWT strategy will extract the access token, will validate that, okay, token is valid. What is the token payload? Because we are using JSON web token where we need to use JWT.sign to create a token, JWT.verify and JWT.decode. All those things are happening with the help of this thing. This is actually passport, Nest.js passport or passport JWT is doing. Inside payload, we will validate, okay, everything is good. Then we just return user and this user will be available on the request user object. So this is our simple auth controller. What it is doing is, like the same code we are doing. Here we have added a login and inside this in the request body, you will be passing username password. So instead of validating directly by controller, you can also use a passport local strategy that will extract the email and a password from the request object, validate the user and provide the request.user object. But here we are doing it manually. First we are validating the password. If everything is fine, we are getting the response object. And here this response object is giving us the two type of token. You can see refresh token, update refresh token, generate token, create token, right? This is the payload which we are adding inside a token. Here we are creating access token and refresh token with the two different secret key that we will get from the all config service. JWT service.sign async. This is the data I want to put inside a token with the secret key and this is the expiry. So it will give me the access token and a refresh token. I can just save that inside my the cookies. So this is how I will be sending the cookies to the client side. Response.cookies, I will send access token and I will send a refresh token and response.send response. This is just a simple way of sending a data back. So once you do the login, we are sending cookies back to the client. Now these cookies will be sent back to the server and how we will be decoding them using this strategy, access token JWT strategy. This token will be validated and here we are just passing the same secret using which we have created a token. These are like very basic things and if you have done a little bit of Node.js, you know how JSON web token works. You just need to pass an access token and secret, same secret key. It will validate and it will provide a payload. Then you can also again validate the payload. Okay, user still exists. If yes, return the user. So this strategy can be added to all the private routes which you wanted to protect. Okay, so this is like a simple setup of user controller, auth service, user service. I will be adding more code on top of this, but there is no point of explaining much because this is the whole summary, how all these things are connected. We have here also we can write a local strategy if you want, like this local strategy instead of writing code, but I need to generate a token and lots of things I need to do. So this is the local strategy. This is auth service and this validate user is being called by auth service. Yeah, local strategy. This is also you can create as a strategy. You don't need to validate the token. It will give you the user object and based on that you can create a token and return the token inside a cookies response. Okay, let's update our code and I will try to showcase at least the sign up and the login together.